Welcome back. This is your host, Noura Almasri, and this is Echoes of Impact with Noura. We're back with my friend Talyn talking about personal branding and New Year and every great thing that's going to benefit you as a business owner for 2025. Now, Talyn, welcome back. I want to talk to you about working with a coach. I know that you have changed your business like multiple times. Like last year, you really changed the way you work with people, and you worked with many coaches. So, can you tell us a little bit about that and how can other people kind of do the same?
Thank you so much for having me back, Nora. It's always nice to see you again. And one of the things that I noticed was a lot of business owners, Nora, and I'm sure you see this all the time, they go through burnout when they have too many clients or they have too many opportunities or just too many to dos in their life. And that's exactly what I experienced in 2023. So, all of last year, I decided to take a pause in my business. And I only took like a very small handful of clients because I used that time to reflect and take a step back to see how can I work less in my business but still make a really big impact and grow my audience. So I sought out the best coaches on Instagram, and these are people who have close to like 100,000 followers to 1.5 million followers online. And I decided, you know what, these guys know what they're talking about. They're the ones that I'm going to invest my money in. And I'm going to learn everything I can about social media, Instagram, YouTube, how to build a personal brand consultancy without hiring employees, because that was the biggest things that I was worried about. I didn't want more employees. And how to really refine your process in your business without more expenses.
Hmm, good. So, what's the approach you took like to work with those coaches? Because like also investing that much money, like a lot of people get scared, like, okay, like I need to show up differently. I need to make sure like my money is worth it. So it's an investment. So how did you make sure like you really this money is investment and it's gonna give you a return on investment?
Yeah, the return on investment, that's a tricky one to gauge because if I'm going to have clients pay me between 5 to 20K or maybe more, I need to make sure that I show up in the best way possible, that the client sees all of that confidence in me. And that's exactly what I did with the people that I hired. You know, they were coaches that were between 10 and $20,000. It was a really scary number. It's really scary to put that into your credit card, knowing it might not work, it might not be good for me. But I took 4 months researching them. I watched all of the reels. I watched everything that people were saying about them. I was seeing what the clients' results were. And I know the results are going to be different from different clients, but I took faith that they have a process that is nailed down. I want to know the process. I want to see the behind the scenes on how they work with their clients. And that's how I was able to learn so much in a short amount of time. Because when you hire someone who's doing better than you and who are charging a ridiculous amount for their work, that's your shortcut. So you're not spending years trying to figure out the same thing. You can probably learn all of this yourself, but you're spending more time than money. And for me, my time is more important than my money. So I would rather shortcut it, learn from them in 2 months, implement it, and then move on to the next one, than spend another 5 years trying to figure it out myself.
Yeah, absolutely. I love working with coaches as well, like because like even if you know something, right? I feel like when someone from outside see it and tell you, point it out for you, it's totally different. And like you said, like it's a shortcut. But that what I heard, like when you were talking, they must have a great personal branding as well, right?
Yeah, so the reasons why they have a follower is because, again, they show up. These people are serious about bringing in new clients every single day. They show up 3 times a day, 3 times a day on Instagram. So that's 3 videos a day. And I had to do the same thing. And as a result, I was refining how I wanted to show up, what my messaging was. So my personal brand last year, Nora, was really pushed to the edge, and my level of discomfort was really, really high. every day I just felt like everything hurts. This is so painful. I don't know if I can do this. There was so much doubt whether I can reach their level in a short amount of time. But the minute someone says, you know what, Talyn, yes, I do want to work with you. Here's a deposit. Look, I just did it. This is proof that I can do it. And if I can do it, my clients can do the same thing too. And now I'm using the same process. I've got an entire new process on how I work with my clients. And it's very, very defined. It doesn't matter who the client is or what industry they're in. My process now stays exactly the same because I know I can get them results.
Awesome. So do you do the strategy for your client or do you do more than strategy?
So strategy is the foundation of the work I do. But essentially in 100 days, I build them a really powerful brand. So in less than 3 months, rather than them figuring things out for a whole year, trying to figure out who they are, what do they want to do, how do they reposition themselves in their market, how should they price themselves, how do they get clients, I do all of that for them. I build that entire system for them in 100 days. And within the 100 days, I get them to get their first case study clients that are paid for them in that new price strategy.
Mhm. That's awesome. So let me ask you a social media question. So I see a lot of influencer or business owners, they do a lot of stories. Like from your opinion, from your experience, do you think stories is the way to go, or is it like posting shorts and like static posts? Like what would you say, like especially on Instagram, like what would be the strategy that you recommend for your clients most of the time?
So stories disappear. You know, once you post it, it's there for 24 hours and then it disappears. Your reels are going to be there unless you take it down. So your reels are the foundational piece. This is the thing that you should be posting every day. I don't recommend 3 times a day. That's crazy. Maybe once a day, because, you know, especially for people who are not comfortable with it. And it doesn't even have to be reels. You can put a static post, but reels are recommended because that's what people are paying attention to now. That's the trend.
Mhm.
But I would recommend you should have stories on Instagram at least 3 times a week. But your stories isn't you just reposting something with no context. So I'll give you an example, Noura, if you want to hear it.
Yeah,
Who
sure.
are you, right? So we're talking about personal branding. People want to know who they are going to go into business with. So rather than just saying, I'm a tax professional, talk about your background, you know, where you came from. You came from Syria. This is the reason why I moved to America. While I was in America, I did 1, 2, and 3. And then I found that I was really good with taxes. And this is how much money I made for my clients in the nonprofit world. Today, I've worked with X, Y, and Z clients, and I helped them save this much money, or I helped a client figure out that they could be paying this much for their taxes. I showed them the results. And then at the end of that story is, that's my story. How can I make your life better? So it's not about the tax so much. It's, I'm
Mhm.
here to solve a problem for you. I have the solution to solve the problem for you, and I'm the best person for you to work with right now. So you're structuring your stories in a story-like manner now.
Mhm. Nice. That I love that. And you know, like it's not easy to have a story. Like I see people posting multiple stories, like sharing everything on social media. I started doing that last year a little bit, but like then I stopped because like I found myself like I am not that story person, like where I can always share. But it does work definitely. Like it does remind people about you, and yeah, people love to connect. So I see from myself, like when I want to hear the story behind. Like I loved it when you shared that your story, how you moved to America, and like how did you find your purpose? Like you cried on that video. So I love that. Like I'm assuming every person love to watch that. I have to get back on track on that because so yeah, thank you so much for sharing that, Talyn. And hopefully you are going to go beyond your goal this year, and I can't wait to watch your success. Thank you so much again for being here with me today. And I can't wait to see you back on the show again and to watch your success. Guys, go ahead and follow Talyn at Boss Diplomat and talk to her, connect with her so she can help you build your personal brand as well.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you so much for being here with me. Right? we came to the end. I know this is a great episode, and I love being here with you guys. I love talking to my friend Talyn, as always. Until next time, keep making an impact.
This has been a Now Media Networks feature presentation. All rights reserved.